Companies in Canada cash in on tens of billions of dollars in business that is not on the books, according to StatsCan. The underground economy is economic activity that is neither recorded nor taxed. In 2012, it reportedly totaled $42.4 billion in Canada. That's about 2% of GDP. It's up from earlier estimates of 2000, but lower than a high point of 2.7% in 1994. The biggest contributor to the underground economy is residential construction. Other major sectors include finance, real estate, retail, and food services. Ontario has the largest underground economy at more than $15 billion of unrecorded business, followed by Quebec, BC, and Alberta. Chris McDonald is an associate prof at Ryerson University and a director of the Ted Rogers Leadership Center. So we were kind of talking around the ethics of this. It's obviously a big problem. So let's start with where would you characterize this in terms of unethical behavior, and where does the responsibility lie?
Right. Well, I think it's certainly not this isn't exactly grand theft, but on the other hand, it's a pervasive problem. It's a substantial problem. The numbers are small percentage-wise, but in the aggregate, you're talking about a loss of tax revenue that could be paying for an awful lot of teachers' salaries, an awful lot of fire trucks, an awful lot of cops on the street, an awful lot of healthcare.
I mean, one point that I made in the meeting, which got edited out, I don't know why, is that if you participate in the underground economy and you help somebody avoid paying taxes, my taxes are going to go up because there's a cost to that, and the cost is borne by everybody, not just the person who got the service, which strikes me as kind of fundamentally unfair. Yeah,
there's that. It's kind of a hidden cost. I mean, from the point of view of the person who isn't paying that extra 13 or 15%, it looks like it's a victimless crime, right? But what they're not realizing is that it's essentially like not paying your fare on the TTC. You're a free rider, and other people are paying the cost.
So we also would assume, I think, that people do this because they feel overburdened, because our taxes are maybe too high in certain areas. Is there a way to actually reduce the underground economy by lowering taxes on some things?
It may well. For some people, it may well be that feeling. And, if you're living below the poverty line, I have a little bit of sympathy for you. But if you're, making $150,000 a year and, going to some lengths to try and get out of paying taxes on having a fence built in your backyard, then I have a lot less sympathy.
We have whole industries. We mentioned residential construction. I mean, there are whole industries that kind of operate in this gray area. Should it be easier to crack down on, not just leave it up to kind of individuals to say, no, I don't participate in the underground economy, but actually find a way to kind of bring some of this to light?
In principle, I think where it's feasible without being overly intrusive, you want to be able to do that. But on the other hand, if you think about what it would take to drive the underground economy to zero, it would mean an awful lot of government intervention in ways that would be unpleasant in various ways.
I've seen a suggestion that in recent years there's a growing number of service providers who are self-employed, and that one of the issues that raises is whether our economy might actually be doing better than we think, because some of those jobs aren't being captured by traditional metrics, and some of this money generated not captured by traditional metrics. Do you think that might be the case, that as more people kind of do things for themselves, they do it in cash and they do it underground?
That may well be, and that makes it hard for economists who study these things to really capture what the full extent of our economy and national growth is. But it also means that there's a possibility that there's an awful lot of entrepreneurship and innovation coming out of that sector, which doesn't excuse the not paying your taxes, but it's an interesting factor.
Were you shocked by that 2%? I mean, the high water mark of 2.7% of GDP. It's such a big number.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial number. I mean, it would be easy to discount, but when you think about the billions of dollars that it adds up to, and the kinds of things it would pay for, it's very substantial.
All right, we're gonna leave it there, Chris. Great to have you here.
Thank you.